last young lady was a little on the hard of hearing side, so I had to really crank the intercom system. You can hear me okay? Is that comfortable for you, that volume level?
No, it's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think you started our pre-takeoff checklist. If you want to go ahead and go through that real quick, the cigar check, you can make sure the controls all work okay.
Everything looks good.
Feels okay, good.
Okay.
Make sure your altimeter is set on 800. It looks like it's off a little bit, so
it's off just a
yeah, you can go ahead and adjust that to 800. There you go. Airspeed, balls in the middle, vertical speed indicator, your tack, just a refresher, like right now it's banging around at about 350 RPM, maybe a little less than that. Mine on my needles all over the place too, there we go. Now it's a little bit more stable. And oil pressure will come up a little higher. I have it set at about 80 PSI. And our oil temperature is in the green. I've filled the tank for you, my friend. Fuel gauge is right above your head. We got 3 hours of fuel on board, maybe a little bit more than that. Every quarter tank is an hour, so an hour and a half. Mixture is full rich and the fuel is on. Oh, and by the way, you picked an awesome day to fly. I mean, it is nice up there. Geez. The last 7 or 8 days have been like this. I've enjoyed it. It hasn't been a real big load.
Yeah, at least it's not so bumpy that way.
Yeah, exactly. Accessories, your elevator trim tab is set for takeoff. A little bit of nose down trim. That's underneath the throttle on your left side there.
Yep.
And the next thing we got to do is listen to the radio frequency here. They switch the runways around.
Q class 5000.
We know that.
Temperature 31, 2.17, altimeter 2991. Visual approach runways 35 and 5 in use. 5 on initial contact. You have echo.
All right, we'll get the first part. What are they saying? What the wind is doing here?
Kalamazoo Airport information echo 1853 Zulu. Wind 340 at 4. Visibility 10.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Q class 5000.
All right. So when you add power here, Craig, what's going to happen is the tail wheels shifted out 90 degrees because I did like a little half donut in here.
Yep.
So when you add power, it's going to go to the left. So you'll be wanting to go on the right pedal to try and straighten that. And again, I apologize for saying this. You've done this before, but just make sure your heels are on the floorboards.
They are.
Okay, perfect. Let me contact the tower here. Kalamazoo ground, Stearman 1 at the zoo with Echo ready to taxi 35 Bravo 1.
Stearman 1 comes ground, runway 35, taxi via Bravo.
35 and Bravo, Stearman 1. She's yours. Let's head on out. I'm going to help you get it's not steering. Once it needs to get, okay, there's a little spring back there. Okay, now it'll work for you. It'll steer 15 degrees either way of neutral, and then.
Character Papa Whiskey, you'll be following that too.
But when you pop it out to do a 180 like we just did when I got back, then it's not going to steer at all until the little spline shaft goes down over the steering arm. All right, cool. We'll make a right-hand turn here.
Character Papa Whiskey follows here, runway 35, cleared option.
And we'll go all the way to the end. There you go, good. They had a bunch of Rolls Royces here today.
I saw those.
Did you see them?
Yep, I saw them on Portage Road.
They said there was
5 of them.
I think they said there was something like 18 here or something like that today. Those are some old Rolls Royces.
They were really nice looking. So I was sitting at a stoplight at Romance and they come wheeling past me and I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. We were up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming years ago for a friend's wedding. And they had a rally up there with Duesenbergs.
That'd be cool.
Man, well, those pretty. Those were like, there's one car there, they said it was like $7 million. Those are some expensive cars.
Oh, yeah.
And they were driving them on the road, too.
Have you ever been out to that Gilmore's car museum?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, that's gorgeous out there. Yep.
go
That's
out
cool.
there on Wednesday nights a lot of times on our motorcycles for that cruising. You can just wheel in there and just everybody just kind of lines up and hangs out.
That's on Wednesday?
Wednesday night, yeah, 5:30 to 8:30, I think it is. And people just come in their motorcycles or their cars and stuff. There's usually a couple hundred cars.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, anywhere from street rods to normal cars to whatever.
Good to know. Sounds fun.
It is.
I know. Did you go over to the old car show over at the Kalamazoo Fairgrounds 2 weeks ago?
No. Oh, we went past. We used to go into that thing all the time, but it's getting so expensive now.
Really?
Yeah.
What does it cost to get in?
$17 a person and $3 parking. So
Yeah.
we usually just hang out outside
Yeah.
where they go in and out and watch them. That way you can hear them.
Yeah.
You know? But, oh yeah.
They have one of those Meacham auctions down in Kissimmee in the wintertime. I've kind of wanted to go over there for that. But it's like the same thing. I think it's $25 to get in.
Yeah, it's crazy. We used to go, I used to take my son there almost every year, and then it just kept getting more expensive and more expensive and more expensive.
Yeah.
So, yep.
All right, so here, at this point, there's an airplane ahead of our on final. So, yeah, just bring the power to idle.
Oop. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Went the wrong way.
And we'll just go around to the hold short line there.
It's funny, it wants to turn, then it doesn't turn, then it wants to turn.
Well, and a lot of people have been asking me about that recently. It's that, right behind me, these little, I'll show it to you when you get out, and it might explain why it's kind of strange on the steering. There's these little, what they call idler arms, and these stand up right behind my rear seat. The rudder cable goes to the top, and they're little arms, and then the tail wheel cable comes off about halfway down. It's on a spring, so that's why the tail wheel does. You don't get immediate turning steerage out of it because it's on that spring. So it's basically what it is. It's a dampener. It kind of dampens because when you land, you don't want the tail wheel going as far as the rudder goes.
Right.
Because if you did, this would be really tricky on the ground.
You'd be going all over the place.
Exactly. Let's go ahead, because it's calm here, Craig, let's go ahead and bring the stick all the way back. You can actually get on the brakes, top of the pedals here. There you go. Bring the stick all the way back to your lap, and I want you to bring the power up to 1,300 RPM. The magneto switch is on the far left-hand side of the panel. I'm going to have you check the mags. 1,300 RPM. So right now you're at 1,000. You want the needle pointing to the number 3. 1,200 RPM. There you go. Now the far left-hand side of the panel, that's your magneto switch. Go ahead and switch from both to R. There you go. We got about a 60 RPM drop. That's fine. Back to both. Over to L. That's left. It'll drop a little bit more. That's fine. Back to both. Carburetor heats, hot. That's fine. Okay. Engine's fine. All right. So if you want, go ahead and creep it on up to that hold short line there. And then we'll bring the power to idle here. Now let's see where that 172 is, or the Cirrus. I think there is both coming in here. I don't see anyone out on immediate fine. Oh, there's the guy right there. See him off to your right?
Oh yeah, yep.
So it doesn't make sense for us to call right now, because if we did, he'll tell us to hold short, so I'll let this guy land.
Yeah, because he's close anyways.
Right. So we'll take this opportunity for just a brief refresher. So on takeoff, there's virtually no wind, so you'll taxi on out there, get it all lined up. You want to look straight ahead. You'll focus on infinity.
Skyhawk 2 Papa Whiskey, runway 35, cleared.
And by doing that, you'll be able to see the sides of the runway. And keep it going straight. The tail will come off the ground. When that happens, she's ready to go, and we'll just get the airplane off the ground. And,
clear to land 352 Papa Whiskey.
all right, so that's Papa Whiskey's at 172. Where are they at? This is Western, so what they do is a touch and go. They never stop.
Yeah, they usually fly out of Battle Creek.
Yeah.
That's because they got that school. It used to be down right there.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Then they moved it over to Battle Creek.
I'm happy about that. If that school was here, it'd be too many airplanes here.
Yeah, so you'd have traffic all
Yeah.
the time then.
I can give them a call. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1, we're ready to go. 3-5, Bravo 1. Let's see if he lets us out. He has to be 3,000 feet down the runway before we can be cleared.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo Tower, right turn on approved,
Yep.
runway 35, clear for takeoff, traffic, Skyhawk, turning left base now.
All right, we're rolling 3-5, right turn out, Stearman 1. All right, head on out there, Craig.
Bonanza 112 Echo, Kalamazoo ground. November 112 Echo, what altitude would you like to cruise at?
There we go. All right, get it all lined up. Good. Start bringing the power forward when you're ready. Yeah, I'm thinking that's about straight down the runway. Cool. Let's go fly.
Bonanza 112 Echo, roger, runway 5, Canada, Charlie, Charlie 1.
We'll bring the power all the way forward. Let's get this rascal in the air. There you go. Good. Here comes the tail. Little right rudder. Good. She's ready to go. Now lower that nose a little bit. Get your airspeed 75 miles an hour. And then start bringing the power back. About halfway back. Good. And then once, we'll continue climbing, Craig, straight ahead at the A is 75, so bring the nose up a little bit. And when you're ready, we'll make a right-hand turn.
Bonanza 112 Echo, advise when you're ready to copy your VFR client. Wind call.
And just remember, on that right-hand turn, you want to add a little right rudder. Get that ball in the middle. There you go, dude. Just keep it going right. We'll make a right downwind departure. And keep on.
112 Echo, maintain VFR 3000.
Climbing.
Expect higher with departure. Departure frequency 119.2, 1365.
There we go. And we'll climb straight ahead. If you bring the nose up a little bit, what'll happen is RPMs will decrease, and our airspeed will decrease, and our climb will increase. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1, we want to head down towards Vicksburg on the right downwind departure.
Got 122 Papa Whiskey, Kalamazoo ground, take the down to the Bravo Alpha, cross runway 9, or hold short runway 5.
Bravo Alpha, cross runway 9er and hold 5 to Papa.
This is 341 Juliet Papa, stand by. Stearman 1, you're southbound again.
Yeah, we want to continue southbound, head on down to Vicksburg. We'll call you inbound from Schoolcraft.
Stearman 1, roger, bridge change approved.
Stearman 1. All right, so we're good.
Runway 35, cleared option.
So just keep straight ahead. And what we'll do, Craig, is we're going to go up to 1,800 feet. You know, the other option is in Vicksburg, there's a grass strip straight ahead. And it's where they're building a Ford tri-motor. They restored the Ford tri-motors at this place. Yeah. If you can, Craig, put that microphone a little closer to your mouth. I'll be able to hear you better. There you go.
How's that,
That's much better, yeah. Let's go a little bit more to your left. We'll stay out of the, we'll go over this way. We'll stay away from the approach corridor for 3-5. There you go. That's good right here for now. What a day. Man.
It's nice up here.
Should go back to that free.
Negative 155.
Scott Papa Whiskey, continue taxing to Alpha Charlie, cross runway 5.
Alpha Charlie crossing on 5, 2 Papa Whiskey.
Cessna 12 Alpha, stand by.
So once we get to
1,800
feet, we'll level off there, and then we'll bring the power back to about 1,750 RPM. That's going to be our cruise and power setting.
Number 7608 Mike. Come to ground, roger, runway 5, takes to be a Charlie Charlie 1.
There we go. So we'll come back on the throttle, then it won't be nearly as loud. So 1,750 RPM. There you go. Good. Now I can hear myself think. It's loud.
Yeah, a little bit.
So over here off your left is Indian Lake,
Right, yeah.
and then Vicksburg will be off to your right. And I'll tell you what, we're going to shoot an approach into this, because there's no wind today, into this strip up here. But let's warm you back up. Let's do a couple of turns here. Let's do a 360-degree turn to your left. And again, we don't need to use any left rudder. I don't want to throw you to the wolves right off the bat here without doing some maneuvering. There you go. And you'll remember on the left-hand turn, we don't need to use any left rudder. That ball's going to be right in the middle. Yeah, the Ford tri-motor, they used to restore those in the paper mill, the old abandoned paper mill in Vicksburg, until they had that fire there a couple of years ago. And then they moved it back out here. They're building a tri-motor now in there for Kermit weeks, and they've got a set of wings now for the EAA's airplane. Let's try one of those to the right.
I say they used to have one that used to fly out of
Yeah.
the airport all the time.
It's been put on permanent display. Its flying days are over,
Yeah,
which is a shame.
a little too old, huh?
No, it's just the liability of it. They just couldn't have it happen anymore.
Gotcha.
Attorneys
Oh, okay, yeah.
ruin that opportunity for people. There you go, good. All right, Craig, perfect. Looking good here on the 360. We'll roll it out here. Let's try just to simulate what's going to happen in the pattern if we climb up too quickly at too steep of an angle. So let's go ahead and do a power on stall. We're going to leave the power right where it's at and just bring the nose up a little bit. There you go. Hold it right there. Now look at the wingtips. Look how steep you're going up. That might be about a 40-degree angle right there.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. And so if you look at the wing struts, look at the fabric. Bring the nose up a little bit more. Look at the fabric between the struts. There's, you see it moving around?
It's all flexing.
Yeah, you
it's
can
pretty
see
cool.
it flopping around. So you can actually see the stall, or the airflow is departing from the airfoil. So obviously that's something that you really don't want to do, low to the ground. Bring the nose, try it again, bring the nose up some more. You're right on the stall. You kind of did it right there. You can feel it shudder a little bit. Let's
You can almost feel it.
Yeah, well, let's try power off stall. So bring the power back gently to idle. There you go, all the way back. Cool. Perfect. So when you're shooting this approach, this is what it's going to sound like. That whistle sound that you hear right now is 75 miles an hour. Start bringing that nose on up some more. There you go. And you're right on the stall now. You can hear the whistle. It's pretty quiet. Good. We'll start bringing the power forward. And let's climb straight ahead. Let's go back up to 1,500 feet at about 1,800 RPM. That's good on the power there. That grass airstrip is right ahead of you, about another 1.5 miles or so. You're going to fly right over the top of it. It borderlines on on trees. So anytime if you were ever going to land in here, I don't know if you'd really want to land in here on when the wind's out of the north,
Right.
because the wind would be churned up as you're trying to land, be kind of a little bit difficult. So there's Vicksburg High School there off your right. The runway is down below you to your left. Oh, you can level off here. This is fine. You see the runway right here?
Yep.
All right. We're going to shoot an approach into there. Okay, so we're going to fly a big rectangle in the sky. So right now we're going to fly outbound. You can bring the power back. We don't need to climb anymore. And the building right on the end, that's where the 4 tri-motors are. Big green roof building there. Okay, so yeah, we'll make this left-hand turn. I want you to fly parallel to that runway there. Good. And then we'll roll the wings back to level here, to the right. And bring the power back, Craig, to 1,500 RPM, 1,400 RPM. There you go. I don't see anybody flying in here.
I don't.
Let's make our left-hand turn now. You adjust your rate of descent by using the throttle. So it looks like we're a little bit on the high side, so bring the power back some more. And to be honest with you, boy, that runway, they got bales of hay on both sides.
I see that. Little target.
Yeah, so bring the power back some more. So your only obstacle there is that tree, right?
Yeah,
Let it come on down, yeah.
The first
exactly,
tree, yeah.
First tree.
It's weird. It's like the wind wants to blow you all over the place here.
So let's go ahead and bring the power on in. And do what you did before, go straight ahead. Power's good right there. Yeah, well, how about we go over to Perry's place? That might be better for us.
It wasn't too bad. Just felt a little wiggly.
Those trees there. On the climb, you're looking good. Now Perry, you can actually see Schoolcraft from, well, I guess you could when
Should
you're
be
lower.
pretty much straight ahead.
Yeah. It's all about the landing, you know. Once you fly this thing enough on a day like today, back in World War II, this is what they did on the 3rd lesson. You start to learn how to land it. Now, most of the airports down in Florida, Army Air Corps fields,
Right.
they had the auxiliary fields, which were no more than a field with the windsock in the middle of it, and you land on, and it was grass. So no pavement landings, it's all grass.
See, it's got to be a different feeling on grass than it is on
It's
pavement.
way easier. Now look what's going on with your climb. So right now you're going about 70, right? Look at your vertical speed indicator, upper right-hand instrument. It's barely climbing. Now we're climbing. If you lower the nose a little bit, if the airplane has a little bit more airflow over the wings, it'll climb better. So lower the nose, get a little bit more speed, get about 75. All right, there's 75. Now watch the upper right-hand instrument. It'll start coming up higher, telling you that you're climbing.
Yep.
It'll come up. $100 feet. There we go. Now it's climbing better. This is this other grass airstrip I was kind of talking to you about, right down below you to your right. I'm pretty sure that's a strip. I've never seen
right
a
there in the
plane.
field, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Kind of looks like it.
Okay, here we are. We're back here at 1,500 feet. We'll level off here. And power at 1,850 RPM. So, I'm sorry, 1,750. So there's Schoolcraft heading off to your left. So Perry's place is right ahead of you. It's a pretty, I'm really actually starting to really enjoy my time up here. I really don't want to go home. This is the first time I kind of felt like this. Jill's ready to go home because she misses her dog.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, man, I just stay here for a little while.
Say the weather here it's been perfect.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the trees changing a little bit down there.
Yeah, the ones that are by the water, they will have a tendency that looks like they change for colors first.
We started seeing it probably about 3 weeks ago when we were on our motorcycles. We'd see little trees here and there, you know.
Yeah. There we go. And then there I can actually see the runway there. Do you see it? I can see the east-west runway from here. A little bit more to your left.
Yeah, yep.
There we go. How about we do this? How about we can shoot another approach into his place. We're going to shoot the approach to the north. Because what little wind there is, it's actually out of the north. So if you fly right over the top of the airport, straight ahead, and see if you can maintain this altitude, and then we'll try a left-hand pattern for runway 36 actually. It's kind of cool when you can look at the lakes and you can see the reflection of the clouds.
Yeah, it's really calm
Yeah.
the last couple of days. That's one thing I miss living off the lake is I've always been used to seeing water like that, you know.
Yeah.
But
Do you get more bugs near the lake?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
not? Yeah.
Yep.
It's like that down in Florida.
Yeah, mosquitoes, it's crazy.
All right. So here is 131 here.
Yeah, it should just be right straight ahead here.
Right ahead of you. So if we know that the runways are north, south, east, west, we also know that these roads are north, south, east, west. So it's really easy to shoot this approach. Our only obstacle here, Craig, is off your left. There's a tower there, a little cell tower.
Yeah.
So we're going to fly, make sure we'll fly out around that. And we'll shoot left-hand pattern. So a really nice landmark is when we get to this road that's right ahead of you, we'll make a left-hand turn. And then we will fly southbound along that road. There you go. So she comes around. This is a nice 30-degree angle of bank turn here. There's the end of your runway, right there. So let's go ahead and bring the power back. We're about 600 feet here, so I'm going to say about 1,500 RPM. Now, I remember when I was learning how to fly this thing, kind of the fun part I had with it was deciding when I needed less power or more power. So
Right.
I'm going to let you do that. So you can kind of, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You can kind of feel your way here. So you notice the airplane's kind of sashaying around, so that's kind of you doing that. So just kind of relax your stick on inputs. There you go. Now lower the nose and chop the power all the way back down. You got the runway made, so get it all lined up here. And see if you can make it smooth and not have moving around like as much as it's doing there. Good. All right. Let's bring the power on in. Don't let it touch. Good. 1800 on the power. So that one would have ended up being a good landing.
It felt a little. I was a little too wiggly on it.
Let's try it again. Now this time, just know that airplane coming down on final, it's sashaying around, and that's you doing it. So if you let go of the stick, the airplane's going to be smooth. It's going to be straight. So just do your best just to keep the airplane going straight towards the runway. We'll roll the wing spectre level here. Keep on climbing 75 miles an hour, and there's your road. Remember on the power thing, you adjust your rate of descent by using the throttle. You adjust your speed by using pitch. So if you're going slow, you lower the nose. If you're going fast, you bring the nose up. All right, so keep on climbing. We want to get as high as we can on the downwind here. All right, so here's the intersection of these roads here. We're at about 500 feet above the ground. We'll level off here, bring the power back to about 1,500 RPM, and let's fly a little bit farther outbound this time. It'll give you a little bit more time for the pattern thing. And what's nice, we'll make our left-hand turn here, Craig. Line up on the corn rows. They're east-west. It's perfect. So it's a big rectangle in the sky. Look at your airspeed. We're looking for 75 or more. All right, so you're right on the money as far as your speed goes. There you go. Get it all lined up. All right, cool. So start bringing the power back. Looks like you got the runway made now. So bring the power all the way back to idle. All the way back. There you go. This is much better. Look at this. Now you're running. You're on the end. Good. Let's go around. Don't let it touch. How about that? Better? Feel better?
Yep.
Let's do another one. Let's go fly straight ahead. This time we'll get some altitude straight ahead before we turn. That was a good one. So the idea, what we're trying to do here is if you're a little bit, you got power throughout the whole approach, which is fine. If you get to the point where you know you have the airport made, so if the engine quits, you're going to be fine. The runway's right ahead of you.
Right.
We can make our left-hand turn here. Then you pull the power off, and then you lower the nose, and the runway's going to be right ahead of you. You can see it, which is good. You want to be able to see it, make sure you're lined up. If you're too low and you have to carry power all the way to the runway, you're looking over the side, and I always would say, let's go around and try it again. We're too low. It's a great place to learn how to land because you got a north-south strip, you got these roads north-south, you got corn east-west. It's pretty good. let's see if we can get a little higher this time. So there's 75. There's 500 feet. Yeah, this is where we were on our last go around. So we'll be up a little higher this time. That's good. Okay. We'll level off here. This time we're at 800 or 700 feet. This is better. Bring the power back 1,500. Do the same thing you did last time. That was a pretty good approach. So Craig, you can kind of see that if you concentrate on your approach, the landing will be easy, right? If you shoot a good approach, the landing is just an extension of your good approach. If you shoot a crummy approach,
you're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you're ready, we'll make a left-hand turn.
Outside down to the ground.
Left base. There you go, good. I like this turning approach because you got the runway in your view a whole way around. Good. It's kind of the way they taught you to land in a Corsair.
Right.
A turning approach all the way to final. All right, so good. Perfect job with the power. We're going a little fast, so bring the power back.
Down 7 speed on Charlie to runway 17.
Airport is made. I bring the power to idle. There you go. Now listen to it. This is the best one yet. Perfect. Good. And then bring the power back 1,800. Good job.
It just takes a lot of practice.
Yeah. Let's make a right-hand turn. We're going to go back to Kalamazoo. This time, Craig, we're going to do it for real. That's what you do, man. You fly a lot of those patterns in this plane.
I say, you probably land this thing 20 times a day, don't you?
No.
No.
I mean, the last couple of days, we've been having a lot of flights. It's been great. They started that tram service from the main campus to the restoration facility, and there's a lot more people that come down. We're busy.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good thing. That's why we're going to stay longer next year, I think.
So every day we go past that place, it's packed. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's a good thing. Economy is doing well. All right, so here's what he's going to tell you to do. I'm going to call him once we get a little closer and a little higher. And then you can actually see from here the Pfizer plant. Do you see it over the nose to the left? It's about, it's straight ahead. And then we're going to land on runway 35 today.
South 3557. Calvin ground, runway 35, taxi to Charlie, Alpha, cross, runway 23, hold short, runway 27.
There we go. I'm going to give him an hour and a half.
Tower, system 5454, Quebec is with you. System 5454, Quebec, Kalamazoo Tower, continue inbound for runway 35, vehicle on the runway. Roger that, inbound 35, 54 Quebec.
Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1, we're inbound for Schoolcraft.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo Tower, enter a right base for runway 35, continue inbound for a vehicle on the runway.
Right base 35, Stearman 1. All right. So here we are back at 1,500 feet. That's going to be our pattern altitude. Now, do you have the airport in sight? It's right over the nose.
Yeah.
All right.
Stearman 1, report about a mile out.
If you call a mile out, Stearman 1. All right, so we'll bring the power back. Let's go a little bit more to your right. I'm going to have you square this off. There's another airplane that's inbound. I think he's about 6 or 7 miles out. We're going to be in before him. go, yeah, I can see the airport, perfect.
Go 3557, continue taxi via Bravo, cross runway 27 at Alpha.
1750, Craig, so a little bit more, yeah, just keep it at this altitude. So that is, let's see, Portage Road is off your, well, your place is off our right there.
They basically sit right there.
Yeah. So this road ahead, this is center ahead of us?
Center runs east and west.
Yeah, what I'm going to have you do is, just keep going straight for now. Now, if that Cove restaurant was on this side of the lake,
right there.
it'd be better because then the sun wouldn't be in your face.
I see you're facing right into the sun the whole way.
All right, were you able to find anything out there or no?
Okay, so let's, this is Center Street down below, ahead of us and down below. Once we get over the top of it, we're going to make a right-hand turn and bring the power back a little bit.
Proceed Bravo 3, Bravo to the east.
1650 RPM.
Stearman 1, runway 35, clear to land.
Clear to land 35, Stearman 1. All right. So, actually, you know what, Craig? If you want to just keep going straight, we're kind of on a base right now. You don't have to actually have to square it off.
Number 54 Quebec, you're number 2 following at Stearman on about a mile and a half left base.
System 54 Quebec has that traffic.
54 Quebec follows Stearman, runway 35, clear for the option. Number 2, after the option, make left traffic.
Okay, that's the option, left traffic, System 54 Quebec.
All right. So right now we're at 800 feet above the ground. So right now you're on your left base.
Left traffic coming out.
I would recommend at this point we'll bring the power back to 1500 RPM. I'm going to have you landed, Craig. I'm going to follow through with you. Again, we're going to be looking at the lights, right?
Yep.
So I can tell you right now, we're a little bit on the high side, so you can adjust your height by power.
Go 3557, comes tower, hold short, runway 35 for landing traffic. And new weather just came out, wind calm altimeter 2989er.
Hold short, runway 35, go is 3557.
Where are our lights? There they are. There you go, good. There's our video game once again. So we're a little high, so go ahead and bring the power back. Come on back some more on the power. Let's see if we can get these lights, 2 red and 2 whites. Come back some more on the power. We got the runway made at this point. There you go. Just make sure, Craig, that your heels are on the floorboards. There's 1 light, there's 2 red lights. Disregard them now, because we're going to go to 4 reds here in a second, but we got the runway made. All right. Got it all lined up. All right, so we'll flare the airplane. Don't let it bubble or balloon up. Let it come down, let it come down. All right, now, it's not over. Now this is the hard part.
Yeah,
keep it going straight, keep it going straight.
Stearman 1, turn left on Bravo 3 if able, taxi parking via Bravo.
Stearman 1, good. No wind, so it's not going all over the place. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna apply a little brake because we're gonna make this.
Camel to tower, System 54 Quebec.
Right, so go ahead
You
and
got
take
it.
it if you want to turn
Make
there.
this left-hand turn.
Yep.
Awesome. Whoop. Good. You'll catch it. Nice job. Watch that light, and that'll get us perfect. Now we can go straight. Hope you don't mind. We ended up flying a little bit longer.
No, it was good.
All right.
You got it now.
No, you got it. You got it. Take me home. So when I said don't let it balloon, what you want to do is you don't want to, when you flare, you don't want to, over flare and have it kind of go back up in the air.
So that means you're pulling back a little bit too hard.
Just a little bit too hard. So what I did, and it started going up, so I gave it a little bit of power, so it just slowed everything down a little bit. That's what I mean by that is we didn't allow it to balloon up too much.
Gotcha. Come on, baby.
Add a little power. Go all the way to the right. It'll
Cruiser Tower,
there you
137
go.
on the island, 35.
All the way to the right. There we
37
go.
Kalamazoo Tower.
There's those lights, and we're good there. We got 4 more lights we can hit. Now we got 2 more lights we can hit. Perfect, touchdown, no lights.
Okay, cheers, huh?
No, you got it. Take me over to the left. We're gonna put this thing back in its slot over by where the travel air is. And go straight. Hey Craig, great job. The pressure was on you on that landing
was.
because of that jet.
It felt a little weird.
Is that right? Why,
Yeah.
because the runway's so wide?
Well, no, it's just the first time, you know, letting it touch down like that
Yeah.
or whatever. But
Go straight, and then start coming to the left, all the way to the left. If you tap on the left brake here, like such, it does that. Okay, to shut her down, just bring the mixture all the way back to lean. Good. And then add a little bit of throttle.